to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. One of her advocacy turning struggles into superpowers. And of course, she's an author too, and the author of the book Passing the Baton. No other than Miss Victoria B. Thompson. Welcome,
Hello,
welcome.
how are you? Thank you. Thank you for
I,
having me.
I'm fabulous, fabulous, Miss Victoria. Yes, you are most welcome on Book One Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
So, my name is Victoria Thompson. I am an Air Force veteran, HR professional, and I have been going through this journey in life, really wanting to pass on the things that I've learned along the years, which kept me really to help my success and kind of got me through some of my past, I'll say hiccups in life. So.
Hiccups. I like that, Miss Victoria. Hiccups from life. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So tell us, passing the baton, what is all about?
So passing down, it's about networking and well, I would like to say fostering relationships because I think nowadays when people think about networking, they look at what can I get from somebody, and I don't look at networking as me benefiting from somebody. I look at it as fostering a relationship. How can we mutually um, work together and benefit from our relationship?
Interesting. So the title, Passing the Baton, is a powerful metaphor beyond a simple handoff. What does a successful pass look like in the context of a leadership or legacy? What does a fumbled one typically cause?
Um, okay, so you said, let me make sure you said, what does that mean, or the pass the baton? Did I
Yes.
hear that correctly? So for
Yes.
me, it's actually it means a couple of different things. A big part of how I came up with that title is we can talk about legacy. My grandfather, I've learned so much from him, and so I feel like a lot of things that I've done, I was picking up the baton that he has set down. And so I'm passing on that legacy. But also in a leadership role, especially me being an HR supervisor, it's important for me to support my staff. So whatever information it's my job to bring them to the next level. So I am passing on my information, things that I've learned, whether it's good or bad, to help them through their process and their next journey in life. So I think with everything is passing that knowledge on.
Interesting, Miss Victoria. At its heart, is your book more about the person passing the baton or the one receiving it, or the health of the race itself?
Well, I think it's a dance, right? It's the one that's passing it off, but it's also the one that's taking hold of it. So in that, it gives you different ways to network, but I layer it with different stories on my experience throughout the years and opportunities that I've had.
Hmm. So, what is the most common misconception about succession in a business, family, or any organizations that you wanted to shatter with this book?
I think the misconception is when you're networking with someone is only one-sided. You're seeking something from that person when in actuality it's a give and take. It's a marriage. It's like I said, it's a dance with the two. So as you're learning, because what you don't realize when you meet individuals, you may think like, okay, well, I landed a conversation with a multimillionaire that owns all these businesses. They actually learn something from you too. So it's not just one-sided. And I really I try to express to people when you're meeting individuals, one first, you need to ask yourself, are you ready to network? Do you know exactly what you're looking for in out the relationship? So it starts with yourself first. And then once you figure out like, okay, well, this is the direction I'm trying to go, and you find the person that that actually aligns with your moral compass. Because for me, what's important is just not networking with anyone. You have to make sure that they align morally.
Morally. So you argue that passing the baton is not a single event, but a process. What does the process look
Absolutely.
like when it should be ideally begin?
Like I said, it starts with yourself, because I think a lot of times people, and I'll give you an example. Say you are trying to get into corporate and you want to make six figures. A lot of people, they may just look at the end goal as, I want to make six figures, but they don't think about, how do I want to get there? Who do I want to learn from? So you, those are the things that you have to look at. What is your, it's not just the end goal, but how do you want to get there? So I think it starts off with that process on finding out who you are and understanding what you're looking for. And then the next process would be to find out people that align with you. So if you are working at a company and you say, okay, well, I want to be the next CEO, you find out that the CEO, you guys have a lot of interest and you respect that person, and it's a lot that you can learn from that person. Then you reach out and you see if that person's available for as like a mentorship or things of that nature. And if they're willing, then then that comes the relationship phase. You get to know each other, and you kind of, you wait for the door to open. I will also be clear what you're looking for, but I think that it's important to hone in on a relationship, to build the relationship first, because when you have long lasting relationships, so much can benefit from that. You can have a lifelong friendship. It doesn't have to be transactional.
Miss Victoria, let's talk about the emotional and relational dynamics. For the founder
Mhm.
or leader, letting to go of their life's work is deeply emotional. How do you help them navigate the identity crisis that come with passing the baton?
I think the thing that that people need to understand is, yes, it's your life work. Yes, you put in a lot of work, but it's also your responsibility to pass it on to the next generation or people that's coming behind you to build, because you can't be in that position forever. And I think that once you understand the importance of passing down information, because you ultimately grow at the same time.
Yes, definitely. What are the unique challenges and emotional landmines when the baton is passed within a family? How do you separate family dynamics from business requirements?
Well, I'll speak on my personal experience with my family. Um, I think that when you're talking about passing time when it comes to family, it's extremely important to start at a younger age, and you're learning and you're bringing your kids along through the process. So my children, I have three children. I have two college students. One is a major in film, and he does all like far as my editing, my social media. My daughter, she's actually majoring in accounting, so she does like my books and things of that nature. So for me, it's important to, when they were younger, to show them what I was doing. So then when it came to the point that that I need to pass the baton, they're already aware of the processes. And one of the things I went a step further, I created a code of conduct for our family. So we all live by the same code. So once again, it's not one of those things that's a surprise. You're already weaving in I'll say the functions of passing the baton before it's actually able to. So it becomes it's natural. It's a second nature.
How does the successor manage the immense pressure of stepping into a legacy while needing to establish their authority and to make their own mark?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Because I think that especially with kids, well, I shouldn't say kids, but just people in general, they want to build their own, right? So for me, in our family trust, one of the code of conducts is you build onto what's our the foundation, but we also pour into additional acts. So if my son decides he wants a film company, then we will shift and pour into that ideal. It's really just keeping it open and broad and working as a family and not saying, okay, well, this is what I want to do and I'm passing on the torch and you have to do it this way. That's not how you grow. You have to keep it open where everyone feels like they have autonomy to speak and add to the process.
Yes, it's a process indeed, people. Trust is the foundation of any handoff. How did you build a relationship of trust between the passer and receiver, especially if there's a history of tension or differing visions?
I really think communication, this may sound cliche, but communication is key. As long as you're keeping the lines of communication open, you're receptive to ideals, which I think is extremely important. Because just because I may know a certain way of doing something, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily the right way. It doesn't mean that you can't build upon it. So I think the biggest thing is both parties being open to the concept of everyone giving their own ideals and being receptive.
Being a receptive, it's something else, people. What is the single most important practical step a leader can take today to start preparing for a month transition, even if it is years away?
I will say research, research, do the homework, and know and really kind of plan. So don't just go shooting in the dark. Do the homework, do the research, so you know which direction you're going and you want to go into.
Yes, people, do the research first before you plunge in so that you know where your direction is. Communication, as you said, is the key, yet often fraught with difficulty. What does open, honest, and productive communication look like throughout this process?
I'll say I don't want to put an exact time, but we do biweekly meetings as a family. And I think when you have that open dialogue and I've had mentors where we met every month and it was something that was consistent. Um, we had an agenda. So I'm like, okay, well, these are the things that I wanted to learn about or the questions I had. It was consistent and steady.
Consistent is the key in everything, people, to success. Not once a month. Consistency is the key. And how do you handle a situation where intended successor is not ready, or worse, or is not the right person for the role? What is a graceful way to navigate that?
Honesty. I mean, everything. I think sometimes it depends. Sometimes people they're not really ready to hear the honest. But I think a lot of times they can go back and reflect. You know what? Like I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready. I mean, when I was younger, I was 17 years old. I wanted to work at the local shoe store. And I was consistent. I had told the manager, I was like, I want to work here. And she gave me an opportunity to interview. Well, I blew it because I was late. I wasn't prepared. And she was honest with me. At that time, did it hurt? It did. But I realized I messed up that opportunity. And so and just that's for anything, it's just being honest, being upfront and honest.
Honesty is the best policy, people, so don't forget. And Miss Victoria, let's talk about the human element, development, and letting go. A large part of the process is developing the next generation. What does
Absolutely.
effective mentorship and true preparation look like beyond just giving someone a new title?
Oh man. I think far as getting the next generation ready is meeting them where they're at. And I know things have changed so much far as my generation and the younger generation, but social media, they're big on social media. So in order, I know I can't stick to my traditional ways of just regular networking. I have to put myself out there and get on social media and meet the younger generation where they're at. So if it means TikTok, then that means I need to be on TikTok, giving out different strategies to get them on board so I can meet them where they're at.
Interesting, Miss Victoria. And what does the first lap for the new leader look like? How do you set them for success in their first 90 days without setting impossible expectations?
What I do the first 90 days, I think is giving them a couple books that I suggest that they read. Um, Setting up, I'll probably meet with them more often, probably like weekly, to have those conversations to see if they have any questions, if they are finding themselves uh, just not catching on or just having a hard time transition. It's just really having that open door. But I most definitely in that first 90 days, I'm giving homework. I'm giving books to read. I'm giving different websites to search. That's what I'm doing the first 90 days, but also being available for questions.
And how does a clear and compelling vision for the future of the organization make the act of passing the baton easier for everyone involved?
Oh, that's a key. I mean, that's what I said with my personal family. We, like I said, we have code of conduct. Um, there is executive coaching that my children must go to. There is financial leadership. When you have those different pillars that are aligned and set up from the beginning, and everybody goes through the same process, it's easy. It's streamlined. Like everyone is going to be on board. Everyone's going to get that baton passed to them. It's going to be a better situation for the organization by having those organized pillars already in effect.
Hmm. Yes, definitely. And Miss Victoria, as an author, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
My long-term goal is my long-term goals are to actually have more speaking engagements internationally. So that is my long-term goal.
Well, good luck to your goals, Miss Victoria, and looking forward for more success. And what will be your piece of
Thank
advice
you.
for those people out there want to be an author like you?
Go for it. Don't be afraid and just trust the process.
Yes, just do it. Stop procrastinating, people. Go, go,
Yes.
go. And thank you for that advice, Miss Victoria. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Well, of course, passing the baton. I'm gonna recognize recommend that book. Um, three. I'll tell you one of the ones that I really love is Think Rich, Grow Rich.
Mm,
I've read that several times.
yes. Think and Grow. It's by Napoleon Hill. Highly recommended to
Abs-
read. It's a
Absolutely.
classic book that you will learn a lot. And thank you for that recommended book, Miss Victoria. And a successful past is not just about preserving the past. How do you empower the new leader to innovate and evolve the legacy they've inherited? Miss Victor.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, what is the ultimate
Yes.
sign that a baton has been passed successfully? Is it financial metrics, team morale, or something less tangible?
It's I wouldn't say it's something financially. I don't think the money is a sign of success. I think a sign of success is when everybody around you are growing. That to me, that's a sign of success.
Yes, a sign of success. So, can you share a story from your research or experience of a particularly inspiring or grateful baton pass? What is the key to its success?
I'll tell you a story, and it's a personal story. Um, Years ago, I'm a HR supervisor. I was a low level. I was an HR assistant, and I had a my specialist that I worked with was amazing. When I tell you, she was taking me to the meetings when normally the specialist did not take the assistants to the meetings when they because I worked in labor relations at the time. She took me every step of the way when she started writing her papers for the settlements and things of that nature. She had me there. She even had me critique it. She was really she gave me the power to make decisions, and that made me such a stronger specialist to the point where in the next, I'll say 3 years, I then was an HR supervisor. But you have individuals like that that's going to pour into you, that's going to give you the work and not just give you the answers. She would have me look up policies. So if I had a question, the first question, did you look it up yet? What did you find out? What are your thoughts? So she challenged me in the way I thought. And it was one of the best things that could ever happen to me. She really set me up for success.
Interesting story, Miss Victoria. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please listen to my other podcast, people, because my Abstract Essay is already in fifth season. Abstract Poetry in second season. I'm a Book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in third season. I'm a Food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101, Love Letters, Movie 101, and Music 101 are in fourth season. My baby podcast, Law 101, Mental Health and Bible versus 101, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its second season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. Miss Victoria, if you could leave our audience with one piece of wisdom to ensure their own baton pass, whatever it comes, is a success, what would it be?
I stress to everyone, believe in yourself. Long as
Hmm.
you believe in yourself, everything else is going to follow.
Believing within yourself, people, because you need to love yourself first. And Miss Victoria, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you
Thank you. Thank
please?
you.
You're welcome. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your book, Passing the Baton?
Uh-huh. Yes, so Passing Baton, it is available on Amazon and also Barnes and Noble. But if you go check me out at Victoria, common spelling B is in boy, Thompson, ThompsonSon.com, you can find me.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Victoria B. Thompson because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering books like this to come. So, Miss Victoria, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Buddy, come, people, see you soon.